Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on today's live video. So this week I've started reading or listening in Audible to Jim Rohn's Ultimate Library. So Jim Rohn was a businessman and he was also a motivational speaker and massive in the personal development industry. So in fact, actually he mentored Tony Robbins amongst others in his career. So Jim Rohn's written many books, but the thing I like most about what he does are his speeches. So unfortunately Jim died in 2009, so he's no longer around, but throughout his career he has recorded so many speeches, and actually the audiobook that I'm listening to is a compilation of his speeches. But the thing I like most is in his speeches the way he describes things so clearly and in such simple terms. And he describes what he calls the fundamentals, and these are a few key things which make all the difference. So Jim reckons there are about half dozen things that make about 80% of the difference in our lives and how they turn out. So Jim was taught those by his mentor, who was a guy called Earl Schoaf. So Earl taught Jim to look for these few things that made the most difference and spend most of his time working on these things, on doing these things. So today I want to just dig into one of them, which is setting your sail. So Jim talks about the wind of circumstance and how that blows in all of us. And that can be the experience of the wind of disappointment or despair, or in my case, dyslexia. And that same wind of circumstance are blowing in all of us, and yet we all arrive at different destinations at the end of our journey. But we're all sailing on the same sea. So Jim says it's not the circumstance which makes a difference, it's actually the set of the sail, or the way we think and react to those circumstances. So it's what we do after we've set sail and then the wind changes. Something happens. And it's what we choose to do in that circumstances. We have to get back on our feet, grab the rudder, set the sail in a new direction and of our choosing, and set sail again. And he says it's how we think, we respond. How we think and how we respond is a far greater capacity to destroy our lives than any challenges we face. And how quickly we respond to adversity is more important than the adversity itself. So for me, that wind, as an example, was my dyslexia. So at the age of 8, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and yes, I had a great teacher who helped me, but I chose to set my sail, read loads of books, put in massive effort to learn to overcome my reading out loud as well, and also spelling and just grammar, punctuation, all the challenges that someone with dyslexia has. I chose to take action. Yes, that wind blew me in one direction, but I set my sail in a different direction, which is the key here. I think Jim's getting at. So setting, yes, the wind of change, the wind of dyslexia, the wind of whatever it might be that challenges us or you in life can blow, but it's not that wind which blows you in the direction which is important. It's how you choose to set your sail. If you don't bother setting your sail, then you're purely at the mercy of that challenge, that wind. So for me, the dyslexia, that wind blew me in one direction, but I set my sail in a different direction. And ultimately that leads to a different destination over time. And it's about choosing to set your sail in a different direction of your choosing, and over time that leads to a different destination. And yes, that wind's constantly changing, so we constantly have to be changing and reacting, but it's being responsive to that and constantly adjusting our sails as we go. So I thought that was powerful. So I'll share in the notes below that there's a load of his free speeches and audios on YouTube. So they're free as well, so you don't necessarily need to pay for them. So yeah, I'll put a link to that below. So yeah, that's all I want to share this week. Setting your sail, and not being at the mercy of the wind of change or whatever might happen in your life. So for me, dyslexia didn't ultimately decide my outcome. It actually took it as an advantage in the end, because it made me work harder at my reading and writing and everything else, punctuation, spelling. So yeah, As always, thanks for listening. Any comments or feedback, please leave those below, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.